Welcome to episode 2 of RAID DAT BASE, where we search the entire internet for the most popular base designs and put them to the test, for educational purposes only. So our first base says 50 plus rockets in the title and thumbnail, but in the video it says around 35 rockets to TC and around 60 rockets for the whole base. Well, let's give it the test. So in my inventory, I have all the stuff you need to raid, including all the materials to seal. I had to modify this front here since there's no foundation stairs, but this won't affect the raid cost. The real weakness of this base is around back. It's this window up here. Let me show you why. We want to go through this garage door here, and since there is no glass window, I can easily aim at this ceiling and splash both of them for the cost of 4 rockets. So that's the first thing I'll do. You really want to avoid hitting the window bars here, or the rocket won't go far enough in to splash the garage door. Once you find this sweet spot, keep at it. The rockets don't need to be aimed perfect or anything like that for this to work. This raiding technique is exactly the reason I use reinforced glass windows on the top floors in most of my designs. So after the first 4 rockets, the garage door, window bars, and embrasures will all break. So we'll build up and we can easily access the top floor. Our next target is this garage door, which is the way down. We'll use one C4 here and a rocket, both for speed and efficiency, since there is no loot up here. We'll use a C4 and a rocket on this next door too. We can aim the rocket from the corner here, and it's far enough away from us. Going down through garage doors for this cheap this early is always a good thing, so we'll keep on going. For this last one here, after the C4 goes off, it may be easier to use Explo since the rocket here is very hard to aim, making it pretty dangerous. That garage door actually leads right into all the main loot and exposes the TC. Now is when you have to decide if the TC loot is worth the effort. To get the TC's loot, you will either have to soft side this HQM triangle or simply use 15 rockets to break it. Now when I break TC, I plan on putting the new one down over here. Once you have building priv, you can come up to the roof and easily seal yourself in. You simply grab this glass window and put it on the breach. You will still have to fight anyone through these gaps and stuff, but they can no longer get in. This is great if you plan on soft-siding that HQM triangle. Next, we want to open all the loot rooms. We'll use C4 and Explo here since rockets would insta-kill us. Probably also wise to place yourself a sleeping bag at this time. I totally forgot to do this in the video though. Now I know what you're thinking, and please don't laugh. My aim is just absolutely horrible today. Alright? Don't say it. No, don't do it. Next we can break both of these garage doors, and the rocket distance is safe here, so we'll send all 3. So no loot rooms yet, but the way all these garage doors face away from the center tells me that there is probably loot behind each one. So let's splash the left side first. Okay, so most of the loot rooms are now open. This last one here I can finish with some Explo since a rocket is a bit overkill. And that's all of the loot rooms. You can go through this last door here, but behind it is only a level 2 and one small box. So in conclusion, the whole base takes less than 50 rockets to raid. I'm counting each C4 as about 2 rockets, which brings the total to 21 rockets and some Explo. Now I do want to be fair here. If I want the TC loot and refuse to softside the triangle, it could cost 15 more rockets, totaling 36. But the ability to softside something in my book is always considered a free raid cost. Our next base is a solo duo base that is listed at 31 plus rockets to raid. It has an HQM vault that is separate to the stability bunker that has all of the main loot and TC. Let's see how it holds up. So once again, I have all of the booms in my inventory and everything a raider needs. Now this looks too tall to top down raid, and the front does look kinda weak, so I'll just go through the front doors in the beginning. Now I know there are shotgun traps after the second door, but I think I can splash them when I go for the garage door. A trap here after the front door too, but that will break after the next breach. We have to be careful here not to activate these traps, but I think we could be safe from inside the first door. I'll also aim at the bottom left to splash the traps as much as I can. The traps are gone, and one more for the door. I can see the level 2, and I want to take a closer look at the floor. It is sheet metal, so I'm thinking I'll aim low here to start breaking the floors with splash. After 3 more rockets, the door is gone, and also a big piece on the left here has crumbled. I also see our first loot room up there. I'll ladder up, and we have our first HQM floor here, which I can also splash with this window, but in order to do that, I need to get rid of this large box. I'll just jackhammer it, but to be honest, I don't feel too safe doing this. I think the best place to aim is this corner, but to do this actually I'm going to have to stand up here on some twig, which is pretty scary. After 3 rockets, the garage door will break, and let's take a look. We have some exposed boxes and a couple of more window rooms with loot and furnaces. My goal here now is to keep splashing the 2 HQM floor tiles underneath me while splashing as much of the windows as I can. One more rocket breaks open our first loot room, and I think everything else is also starting to take damage. So let's just keep going. Two more rockets, and the floor below the level 2 breaks, which I hope we don't fall into. Everything else in the room is still taking damage, so let's keep going. We now actually have access to that second loot room there, but we do still need to keep damaging this HQM floor. Stuff is really starting to fall apart now, and we are a little more than halfway done with the floor. I'm gonna build twig over this triangle real quick, or most likely I will end up falling in it. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you is once this window frame is broken, we can see the square 1x1 that has the sealed vault under it. The only way to get into this is to go through this armored floor as well, so from now on we'll splash these 3 floors with each rocket. We have a big hole here now, and even this last garage door has now broke. This is also the bunker entrance, which is well built with these half walls covering the foundations. The bunker leads into these 2 squares, which means this triangle should have the TC. Only thing we can really do here is continue on the HQM floor, which is almost broken. So now I see the TC, which is behind a window, and the square is sectioned off from the rest. I think that'll be the main loot. This is fine since I can simply splash both of them from this angle. After 3 rockets, of course the garage door breaks, exposing the entire bunker. But we still do need 1 more rocket to break through the window. With TC now reachable, I'm going to go ahead and grab all of the things I need to seal this in and make it safe. I believe the best place to put TC would be here, since we still have more raiding to do in the core and we don't want to accidentally break it. Next thing we'll do is replace all of the broken walls and big holes with some stone walls. After about 6 minutes of constant rocket booms, it's very safe to assume that people are on their way to counter if they are not already here. It's also a smart choice to place a sleeping bag down just in case. Now we have full control over the base and can continue the raid. With building priv, we could take off the remaining windows for even more loot. The final thing to raid in this base is this 1x1, which is a sealed HQM vault. There is no way to do this cheaper than the remaining 11 rockets worth of HP. We can't come in this corner and aim them all from here. So for these final 10 rockets, I'm going to speed it up because nothing too much changes. You will notice that as you use more and more rockets, the base will fall apart piece by piece. The owner will lose any of the sleeping bags on the top floor, and you will have access to anything extra up there. Once you do get access inside the vault, it may be wise to just take a second and seal off the roof. So in conclusion, this base took 38 rockets and some explode to raid. It took me just about 9 minutes, which would be pretty hard for a solo to actually complete without counters. The base is actually 7 rockets more than the advertised 31 to raid. This vault was well hidden under a loot room that I was unable to splash until I broke the sheet metal window frame in front of it. Smart. Even if you choose not to raid this vault, you would still have to spend about 21 rockets, which isn't bad for a base this size. Good job. So that is the end of today's video. If you have any bases that you want me to test out, you can always come to my Discord, look for this channel here, and let me know about it. Also, please feel free to leave feedback in the comment section below. See ya!